Hello and welcome to your Pro Indicators trial. It's going to be a 7-day, and let's be honest, 7 days is going to be both quick and more than enough for you to have a glimpse at what those indicators are and to have make yourself a vision of what this is and does it suit you or not. Because the question in here is pretty much binary, and that's the choice you want to make by the end of those 7 days. Are those things reliably helping you in getting in the right direction, or don't they? Because if they don't, then you simply move on to something else. So pretty much a lot of people are communicating surrounding the trading and anything like coaching and stuff like that. So I'm not a magician, and let's be honest, my strategy will fit some people and won't be fitting some others. So the goal in here for this 7 days trial is just to answer this simple question. So this will be your goal, and achieving this goal will be done. It can be done in many ways. I'm just going to set a ground rules in here just to make sure that you get into the best possible way to make the best decision out of this binary choice. So 7 days, like I said, is going to be both quick and more than enough. So you want to make the best out of it, which means I expect you to have at least a few hours a day to just work this out, and hopefully being fully dedicated to this for at least 1 or 2 hours a day. If you've got less than that, that's still possible, but it's just it will be more efficient and a more advised decision if you of course have more time to dedicate to this. Obviously, if you've got a week vacation ahead of you, or if you're unemployed or stuff like that, that's even the best case scenario, because you'll have plenty of time, even more than enough, to make that decision. So before we get started, we're going to set ground rules for everyone. Just make sure that normally you should have done that by now, but I just want to make sure of it. You should have watched all the videos on the website. So this video in here, you should have been seeing that video entirely, this one as well, and also this one. So you should be familiar with the first ground basis of the indicator and the strategy, how it works, what's the psychology behind it, what are the goals to get you out of gut trading and unreliable speculative decision, like trading what you think. That's not how it works. So it's how these things have been built to get you out of this kind of trading, to get into professional speculative trading with decisions and rational strategies and stuff like that. Then normally what I expect you guys to have been doing is to read the PDF manual. You also have additional languages available for those who are not really familiar with English or would rather like be in their natural language instead. And there's also Discord. It's going to be pretty much help when you are having troubles understanding some stuff, whether it's in the PDF manual or some of the videos. There will be a lot of users. We've got I think we just crossed 5K users in there, so there are pretty much a lot of people. Some of them are available in real time, so they'll pretty much answer rapidly any questions you might have. So it's great assistance for technical questions or any misunderstanding regarding what you might have read or watched in those videos. Remember that if there is any doubt surrounding any information that may seem foggy or anything like that, just ask someone. You need to make things clear as quick as possible. So once you've done that, join the Discord, had a look at the PDF manual, watched out the video. Normally you have the ground basis to fully profit from those 7 days. But still, what it will actually end up being is probably not what you were expecting. So the best way to profit from the 7 days is, first of all, we're going to switch to a chart, because that's what you're going to have to take care of. And you probably have seen many of my videos earlier, I assume, YouTube videos. So you must not watch my videos between those 7 days, because I want you to be fully dedicated to something and answering that simple question that we highlighted earlier. So my intraday videos, my swing videos, my whatever videos, you don't look at them, right? You just stop all of this for just this 7 days to be fully dedicated to do something else. What you're going to do is not analyzing the market in real time, because what you need to understand is that 7 days is not enough to make real-time trades. Even in intraday, it's going to be so quick that you're not even going to make a rational decision whether you like this thing or not. So what you're going to do instead is you're going to do 7 days of replay. You're going to do somehow backtesting those indicators, and this is everything you need to do. Not trying to put any trade. You may try to put real-time trades if you see an opportunity, but if you do, it will be very low leverage because this is something new to you, and you might have some doubts, and any doubts will lead to bad decisions. So low leverage, you're not here to make shit tons of money for 7 days. That's not how it works. That's not how it's meant to be. This thing is going to be a long process. The first step for you is to see ahead of the next 7 days. What are you going to be doing throughout those 7 days? What is the objective? What's the target for this 7 days? To answer the question, like we said, what you see during those 7 days, is this enough to make you want to see more, or do you think you've seen more than enough, it doesn't really suit you and you want to move to something else? So that's your 7 days work. After those 7 days, the question is binary. Either you didn't like it, you're out, and it didn't cost you any dollar, you just move out to something else, or you liked, you want to see more, so you'll just remain in your subscription, and you'll start moving back into the YouTube videos, asking people questions in Discord, and this is a long process. I'll give you kind of a clue of how long this might take, because obviously I'm not guaranteeing that you're going to be a trader. This is not possible. Only you can make a trader out of you, and this is a very long process, because first of all, you're going to have to learn technicals, and just like I said, I'm going to give you a glimpse of how long this takes. Normally, people learning my strategy takes between, let's say, 2 to 6 months to actually fully process all the technical information and be absolutely confident with the way of reading the indicators. You fully understand them by 2 to 6 months. So it gives you a glimpse. It's 2 months for the fastest of you, and obviously if you're a little bit older and stuff like that, it takes a little bit longer to process, and it can go up to 6 months, and generally no more than that. To fully understand the process of decision making using reliable technical information coming out of the indicators, all right? But then, after you master the technical part, is where the actual real stuff begins to play, is where you're going to have to be trading really in the market with some normal market exposition. So you're going to have normal position sizing. You're going to start feeling emotions that will alter judgment. This is where you're going to jump into the big problem, which is shaping your psychology to be compatible with trading. And this is a more complex process, because it depends on your personal psychologies and stuff like that. And in here, I generally tend to give a much broader time scale, which is generally between a year to 2 years, to get yourself into a favorable psychological condition to get ahead of rising your exposition in the market safely without taking too much risk of destroying your capital and stuff like that. And then only time will make you a trader, and you'll get a better trader each day. That's how it works. It never stops, all right? I'm still learning stuff after more than 9 years in trading, and still will. It never stops. Obviously, you'll learn far more things when you're starting than you will when you'll be mature in trading, obviously, but still, it's a never-ending process. And you really need to understand that. So have multiple goals. First goal, 7 days, simple question, binary choice. You stay in, you stay out. The decision is entirely yours. No one will try to force you in. If you want out, you're out, and no one will ask you to get back in. 7 days. Then, if you remain in, be aware that it takes generally 2 to 4 months to understand the process of this technical strategy. And then, after those months, either you really can't get yourself familiar with it, and some people generally just get out after a few months. They tried, and they figure out that, all right, this wasn't really their thing. They took some reliable information. So anyway, most of the people who get out after 3 to 4 months, they generally say, all right, thank you, Phil. That was great. I learned quite a lot of stuff thanks to you, but still, I can't get familiar with it, so I'm just moving on. And once again, I'm totally fine with that. And those people generally say, all right, great. I'm happy I helped you, and I wish you the best for the future. I hope you find your way out there, and simple as that. And that's my goal in here. Most of the people, I assist you for just a few months, and then you figure out the strategy is not really fitting you, and you simply want to move on, and I'm fine with that. And some other traders will remain for the 1 to 2 years time scale, and I'll help you and I'll assist you with some educational content with the psychologies and stuff like that, how to get ahead of getting better in trading. But you really need to be aware of those steps. First step, 7 days. Next step, a few months to make a decision. Either you want to remain in or longer or not. And then if you want to jump into the psychological part, then I'll obviously assist you with here as well, with some more precise information and stuff like that. So that's how it works. That's how we do things. Now let's get you settled in for the 7 days. Now you understand the context, what's ahead of you for either the next week or the next month or eventually the next few years if you want to remain for a longer perspective. So now let's get to a chart. Normally it's easy. Either you're going to use the indicator tab, and if you already have your personal template, you light your candles with some random colors or stuff like that. If you want to add the indicators to an existing template, this is how you're going to be doing. You're going to use this indicator tab, and you're going to go to invite only script, and this is where you're going to find them. Normally when you're a beginner, I'm just going to give you access to framework and momentum, because these are the only ones necessary. You'll see that there are multiple other scripts available on my profile in TradingView, but you don't need them. These are beta versions that I've been using in the past for some development processes, and there is also Sine Wave. But Sine Wave is no longer used simply because Sine Wave have been splitted into both momentum and framework indicators. The Sine Wave breakouts have been merged into framework. These are those signals, all right, and the momentum pattern risk managing structures have been merged into momentum, all right. So it's just the same thing, but it's easier for you not to get into using Sine Wave right now. I still have this indicator available for previous users who've been getting familiar with this tool, and they just don't want to use framework. I mean, when you got it, when you're using those tools and when you get familiar with it, I can totally understand some people just want to stick to what's working for them. Some people are really, really comfortable using Sine Wave because they've been learning the strategy years ago with this indicator, and they just doesn't want to change it because it works for them. So that's exactly fine, and that's the reason why this indicator is still available, but not to you as you are beginners. So focus on framework and momentum. You don't need anything else. It's more than enough. And you can add those two indicators that will look like that, all right? Not necessarily like that, because as you can see, I've been customizing mine, and that's what you will do after the 3 to 4 months, all right? When you're really familiar with the technicals is where you're going to start making the strategy customized. You're going to change the settings, you're going to add moving averages, or you're going to start shaping things to suit your own personal needs. Make it personal, but this is not what you care about for the next 7 days. So what I want you guys to do for the next 7 days, even if you do have your own personal custom colors or stuff like that, just put yourself back into normal and random stuff. And basic stuff. I'll give you the link in the description of that video, and normally the link is also shared on the welcome message I sent you right here into TradingView. So you're going to open this thing. It's the Pro Indicator Trial template, in which you'll have the basic template to start with for your 7 days, and that's more than enough. What you'll have in here is a simple chart like that, all right? So I'm just going to update it, in which I gave you the early informations necessary. So you've got a momentum in here without the sine wave displayed. As you can see, between my chart and this one is a lot more is a lot less intense, far less information, but still the core information is there, and these are the ones you want to master for this 7 days. So what it is that you've got a simple momentum with the signals, the trade lines, and just the momentum line, right? No more, no less. And then you've got the chart set up with framework, the framework context, the framework trend channel, the framework Fibonacci's, and the breakout information with the confirmation triangles and stuff like that. All right? So this is what you have. You should be familiar with what those things are, because normally you should have read the PDF. So this shouldn't be new to you. You should know every bit of it. Otherwise, I strongly invite you to stop just right now and watch out for the video, watch the videos again, read the PDF manual again. All right, but before you actually put your eyes on a chart, you really need to know what's in front of you. Next, what I suggest you do is that after you've done that, I would like you to print the PDF manual. If you have a visual memory, I strongly invite you to print the entire PDF manual and to just highlight the informations, key informations that might be essential to you. If you're not really familiar with the visual memory, then I suggest you still print the organogram in which I summed up the core informations about the decision-making process. It's one of the latest pages of the manual. So you print this one, and I want you to make sure that you have this one really close to you, because it's going to be your best friend for those next 7 days. But this is what you really need to process repeatedly anytime you want to make a decision. All right? So what you're going to be doing when you're started, all right? So let's sum up the core information. At this stage, you're familiar with the tools, or at least the basics of the tools. It might still sound too complex to you, and that's absolutely normal. The goal of those 7 days is not to make them clear sight. It's just for you to remove part of the foggy part of those indicators and to see them working through your own eyes in markets. So printed PDF, or at least printed the last page, and have it close to you and always next to your computer. Within those next 7 days, I would like you to avoid watching the daily videos on YouTube, like I said, and I would like you to avoid taking any decision or making any trade from your smartphones. I would rather like you to be in a confident, comfortable place at home, facing your computer, when you can make rational decisions and stuff like that, if you want to take real trades with real money. If you do that, you do that with the minimum possible leverage, just to feel the emotions, but still, you're not here to make money for those next 7 days. Then, what I want you to do, once the indicators are plotted and you're ready to go, you're going to make a real-time analysis. Is there something reliable to do right now? As just in here, we do have a signal. Let's be honest. We do have a red triangle. We do trade in context. We do have a taking profit signal doubled with an overbought. And we do have all the algorithms saying, yes, something is interesting in here. Now, what do we do with it? All right. So that's in here. What do? You do your context analysis. So what would it be like? This thing is probably either a range structure following a final excess, or this could be just the pullback structure ahead of a final excess to be coming forward. All right, so we don't know yet what this is, but still you've got plans. You know it's either this or this. So it could still be in a trend, and we'll be about to do the pullback stuff. Or the pullback has already done in here. This was the final excess, and we're just neutral ranging before potentially consolidating the bearish trend. All right, so this could be a bullish range following a bearish trend. All right, so this is how you'll do trade this stuff. Normally in here, as you hesitate, remember that hesitation is always leading to range. When you hesitate between a trend or a range, always choose the range, because that's the safest way. As you're beginning, you cannot trade the trending range, which means you cannot trade this as a bullish range to avoid any problems. So in here, you're going to trade the range. It's simple as that. So you'll say this is a range context. Am I above 76% Fibonacci retracement? Yes. Am I having a trading, have I built a boundary outside of context? Yes, we got close to. It is not really outside, but it's really like it was. So yes. And do we have a signal plus a triangle? Yes and yes. So is that a range trading low risk context to trade? Yes. Does that mean the price will go down? You don't know. I don't make the market. You don't neither. All we can do in here is risk management. All right? So, is there a bearish trade that you could take in here? Yes. What is the kind of signal? It's a taking profits. So this is a gray signal, not the best of them. So you're definitely going to go with a very low position sizing in there, and your profit taking will definitely be 61% and 76, no more than that. Future will tell if that trade was great or not. We yet don't know, but still, that's the kind of trade you might want to take. Very low leverage. You'll feel the emotion, and you'll see how indicators react in real time. But what I would like you to do when you've done this, when you've made your real-time analysis, and I suggest you pick just a couple assets, and the most common one is to trade the SPX. I mean, go on the SPX or any other stock indices, and focus on no more than 2 or 3 assets you'll analyze throughout the week, because actually, I don't give a shit about you analyzing the real-time market. What I care about you to take the best out of those 7 days, is for you to process the replay. So you put the indicators on your charts, or you use my personal template. You switch between those two things. Normally they should be saved with the template, which means you can select the favorite between candles and hollow candles, and you'll switch between the two. Remember that the hollow candles will simply delete the price to make sure you easily or easier going to be analyzing the context. By removing the price and simply applying the strategy, how does the trend channel react, how does the context react, what are the breakout signals we have, to reliably identify the context. All right? That's really important for you to do this stuff. It's really, really, really important. All right? To learn how to identify context using those tools. And what I want you to do is to use this replay to just replicate these psychological structures of decision making, but do it with the past. So it's kind of making some kind of a back testing, but even more than a back test, because you're playing the candles one by one, just like it would on real time. But instead of looking at stupid real time candles that takes a shit ton of time to complete and to close, you'll do something even more reliable. All right? You'll have control over time, which is great, because 7 days, like I said, it's going to be fast, but it's more than enough if you're replaying. If you spend like 1 hour a day replaying markets, you'll have so many contexts to analyze that it will be more than enough to make a suitable decision after those 7 days. Do you like this or not? You'll have played this thing so much that if you're still interested after 7 days, then it means you will probably want to stay in. If this thing doesn't really seem to be reliable to you after 7 days of replaying the market with them, then just move on to something else. All right? So how do you do replay? It's handled right up here, all right? And what you do is basically you can scroll back in time, and you can go way, way, way back in time. And what you're going to do is simply this. You put yourself into normal, like real-time conditions, but on previous market states. And what you could be doing is applying the strategy. Remember that anytime the prices are trading between the context boxes, they don't matter. So what you do is that you replay anytime the market has been getting into context, and you try to put yourself in those real-time conditions that were playing back then. What's the decision you would have made regarding the information you had? Were these good decisions or bad decisions? This is how you'll truly review how those indicators works. Then there's a few stuff I want to warn you about. You will like to replay in 15-minute chart time frame or daily chart time frame, but you must avoid 1 hour and 4 hours for a simple reason. I'm going to show you why. So you'll get to the point. It's not because something is not working in there. It's just TradingView has some problems with this. I'll show you that instantly. So let the indicators a few seconds to plot. Like I said, the process behind those indicators is pretty much complex. So this is the reason why it may take up to a few seconds to plot on the charts. So let's have a look at how it works. So the replay function works like that, all right? You use this button to jump to another location, all right? You can put the play button that will automatically play according to the speed you've defined. This one gets back to real time, and this is just moving forward candle by candle, all right? So let's do this, all right? Well, you'll see something, as you can see, signals comes and go, all right? Some signals will remain after the candle close, others will disappear, all right? But once the candle is closed, there is no more repaint. Candle is closed, the signal will not reappear afterwards. That's not how it works. There is no repainting there, all right? But still, in here something goes wrong, and maybe you didn't yet notice it, but as you can see, everything works just fine. Some signals are plotting, stuff like that, but there is something that doesn't go, oh man, oh, sorry about that, I shouldn't have done this. So let's go back in here, and let's replay once again. All right, so we move on. All right, just a few candles, enough for you to see what I wanted you to see. So as you can see, the trend channel is updating pretty well, everything like that. All the signals comes and goes. But the problem is, look at the context channel. It doesn't update, and that's the problem. When you do process intraday time frames like 1 hour, 4 hour, and that you're asking for daily time frames to build the context channels and stuff like that, then it doesn't work with the replay. So that's a problem from TradingView server side. They've been notified of it. I don't know if they plan to change it, but still, in the current time as we speak, this thing is still buggy. So I invite you to replay either 15-minute short time frame or daily. You can replay weekly, monthly. All of those works just fine. 3-minute works as well, 1 minute. But I suggest the most technical ways to analyze this market is truly 15-minute and daily, and you just replay back in time, and you can go really, really way longer back in time. So you've got more than enough to spend your 7 days just back testing in daily and 15-minute on the SPX. And if you want to change to another asset, you can do, obviously. All right, the thing in here is just to see how it reacts when you play with time. But doing it with a replay means you don't have to wait for candle closes each and every 15 minutes. You can control time. All right. So this is essential for you to do this. All right. So use your 7 day to replay as much as possible. Be aware that when you spend more than 1 to 2 hours straight line during some replay, at some point your brains will become less concentrated. So don't do more than 1 to 2 hour sets of analysis, and just do something else in between. Just go some fresh air, do some sport, whatever, but don't go passionate with that. All right, you might want to do this. I mean, those of you who are unemployed or have fully dedicated time for this week ahead, don't do more than 1 to 2 hour sets of analysis, and then just spread them with something else, fresh air, sun, do whatever this is, but just do something else than trading each and every 2 hours. And then you can go back to trading like 2 hours top, then you do half an hour, go running, do whatever this is, but something else than staying in front of your computer analyzing a market. And then you can go back to it 2 hours, no more than that. All right. Otherwise, you're just spending too much time, too much effort. And once again, more is not necessarily, the more you analyze doesn't make it better. Right? If you do it right, it is making it better. But if you do it too much, then it starts to get negative, actually. All right, so be aware of that. Too much time doesn't make it better. Just make it right. Make yourself the most reliable decision throughout those 7 days, and then we'll terminate this video just talking about what this actually is. All right, so you just got into a subscription from PayPal. What they ask you is basically either your credit card numbers and stuff like that, and I don't have access to them. All right, I don't know anything about that. It's just all inside PayPal problems. They have the information. Either you link to your bank account, which is the easiest way, because remember that credit cards will have expirations. And once you reach out the expirations, if you just forgot to update the card within PayPal, they just cancel the subscription, which means I may have to remove your access to indicators eventually if you don't update the credit card. So if you want to make sure that you're up and running each and every time, you can simply link your bank account to PayPal. It's absolutely safe. I mean, if you have a problem, you of course reach out to me. Like if you forgot to cancel the indicators, that's no problem. I mean, if you just got billed and you forgot to cancel, I mean, if you're a day plus one, you just message me, you email me, and you tell me, okay, Phil, I'm sorry, I forgot. Can you please refund? And I'll of course do it without even asking any questions. All right. Everybody can make mistakes. Everybody can forget. I'm not here to steal from you. So you forgot. That's totally understandable. That's just human. I'm a human myself. I forgot some things. So yes, I totally understand. And I'll definitely refund you every time you ask. So Just like that, all right? Don't focus about PayPal, focus on your 7 days trial, and obviously put yourself a reminder on your calendar or something like that to just say, all right, you're reaching out the 7 days trial's end, so just make sure you cancel the subscriptions if you want out, because be aware that whenever I refund you, PayPal is charging me some fees. So it's not free for me to refund you, so I pretty much would like to avoid you guys to asking me to refund, but still, if you do forget, I totally will do it, no problem with that. So, that's how it works. Put yourself a reminder for 7 days, and then it's simple as that. You log into your PayPal account, and you just cancel the recurring subscription. All right, it's called recurring payments or subscription. I don't know how it looks like in your client side, but that's how it is. So you cancel this, and if you do it within the 7 days, it's free, absolutely free. Not a dollar will be charged. You simply got in and out at no cost. If you stay in after the 7th day, you're going to be billed for 30 euros, all right? It's €1 a day, and it's monthly billed. So you're going to be billed for 30 euros, all right? Which means you have access granted for 30 days, all right? Then you just extend it, which means, like I said, remember the first steps, all right? First 7 days to have a glimpse of what this is, just making sure you like it or not. If you want to go further in time, generally you can expect to be in for at least 2 to 4 months, all right? To have a glimpse of like dipping deeper into my strategy. Still, that doesn't mean you'll actually like it in the end, but normally it shouldn't be costing you that much. I mean, 2 months is probably 60 euros. You shouldn't be ruined with that, all right? So you make yourself a deeper decision-making process throughout my strategy, and then if you don't like it, you're free to go. Once again, no problem with that. You just cancel the subscription. You go log into your PayPal, you cancel the recurring payments, and you're out. That's how it is. I'm not going to mail you to tell you to go back in with a discount or whatever this is. Everybody pays the same price in here. It's more, like I said, it's a fee for my time, for the time I spend for the entire community. You're part of the community of traders. Everyone who uses the indicator pays for everyone else. And I'm not spending my time just for the guys who do use the indicators. I'm also assisting you with them, but I'm spending time to everyone, right? I'm helping people understanding my strategy, and whether they use the indicators or not, I'm doing this for free for everyone, all right? So it's just a participation. That's how it is. It's a fee, all right? For the time I spend for everyone. That's how I want you guys to understand this thing. Obviously, that's why I wanted this to be as cheap as possible. That's basically the cheapest I've seen all around the web, so I decided to go for the cheapest. Not because the information is cheap. Once again, I think this information I'm spreading out there is pretty much freaking valuable, but still, I don't want this to be expensive to you. So I think 30 a month is like your internet access price or something like that. So I expect this shouldn't be much of an expense for you. So normally this should be nothing to you. If it is actually a lot of money for you, then I suggest you just don't subscribe to the indicator, because if it has to be a charge and a load for you, then it simply shouldn't be. That's not how it should be. It should be just a comfortable tool to help you getting a little bit faster into learning trading. But still, this is not a game changer. This is not what's going to turn you into a billionaire and whatever, all right? Only time will do this, and it really takes, like we said, at least 1 to 2 years to get to an actual professional mindset for trading, all right? So I think I've said more than enough to get you into the best possible position into this trading, and just like you've seen, all right, the taking profit in here is overwhelmed, but this is exactly what we expect from profit taking. Remember that those structures are generally pushing to divergence, so the signal is still valid, I think, in here. It's just that we're probably going to try breaking first and then a rebound. So anyway, like I said, have the mindset, have the steps ahead of you, making a few real-time analysis, but please don't stay in front of your charts looking at real-time candles plotting in front of you. You most likely want to spend much more time playing with the replay function. Make sure you don't get too excessive in doing this, no more than 2-hour sets of analysis, otherwise you'll start losing your time afterwards. Try to get familiar with the strategy, try to make yourself a rational decision out of those 7 days, and then you decide if you want to stay in or not. If you don't, you know how to cancel this stuff pretty easily, and that's how it is. As long as you stay in, I'm fine helping with you. If you want out, you're out. Bye guys, and have a good trial.